Hi, I'm Chris Shelton, coming to you from a beautiful sunny day in San Jose, California, the heart of Silicon Valley, coming to you with your DIY Home Remedies guide to health, happiness, and healing transformations. So today I thought we'd talk about the lymphatic system. And the reason why we're talking about the lymphatic system is because I had more than one person this past week and said, Chris, what organs are involved with the lymphatic system and what Qigong practices can I do in order to help to benefit my lymphatic system? Well, you know what? I'm here to tell you which practices you do. Well, your lymphatic system is responsible for helping to cleanse and detoxify the blood, especially through the kidneys and the liver. And the lymphatic system itself is made up of a system of organ networks, in particular like the bone marrow, the thymus gland, the lymph nodes, the appendix, as well as the spleen. So those organs are really responsible for helping the movement of the fluids throughout the body. And if there's a backflow, then that starts to show up as disease and chronic pain. So last week I talked about and I introduced the B syndrome, or I'm just kidding, the BI syndrome. So the lymphatic system is responsible for helping to cleanse and detoxify our blood, especially through the kidneys and the liver. And our lymphatic system is actually made up of the bone marrow, our spleen, our thymus glands, the lymph node, the tonsils, and the appendix. So when we look at the lymphatic system, it's a whole bunch of different parts of the body that play a role in making sure that they work together in order to help to detoxify the blood and keep the fluid through the water passageways moving easily and effortlessly. Okay, but if there's an impairment of that, then guess what that shows up as? It shows up as chronic pain and disease. Also too, when the lymphatic system is strong, guess what it also does? It helps with our immune system because it helps from the intrusion or the invasions of external pathogens like viruses and bacterias. Okay, so we don't want any viruses and bacteria entering in. So having a very strong and healthy lymphatic system really helps the whole system network, making sure our immune system is strong and making sure our blood is cleansed and our vitality is of the utmost possibility that it could possibly be. Okay, so what kinds of things will injure or harm our lymphatic system? Well, first of all, a sedentary lifestyle. That's probably number one. Number two, toxic foods, toxic drinks. So if you're drinking too much alcohol, if you're eating too much greasy fried food, fatty or fried food, sugars, processed foods, those GMO foods, those kinds of things, that also will cause a backlog in through this lymphatic system and create disease. But one of the number one things too is emotions. So if you're stuck with emotions of resentment, hatred, fear, or shock, or worry, or pensiveness, or grief, you know, any of those emotions. And once again, all these emotions are actually good because they are like a barometer to what's going on in our environment. But we need something in order to help to release those. And that's where the Qigong practices come in handy to be able to help you release those stuck emotions. Because when those emotions get stuck, especially in through the intestines and the kidneys and the liver, then guess what? That lymphatic system gets blocked. Also the spleen, one of the things that the spleen does, and I talked about this last week, is it helps with the transformation and transportation of the fluids, which is part of the lymph system. Okay, so we talked about and introduced a B syndrome. That's a BI syndrome. It's not a butt itch either, but it's a painful obstruction syndrome in Chinese medicine. And how does this show up? Well, especially in the synovial joints and the synovial fluids of the body, especially like the knees or whatever, you actually will see where the pure fluid, the synovial fluid, becomes impure. That's because the spleen is backlogged and it's not being able to transform those fluids properly. So what kinds of diseases do we see? Well, number one, we see cases like RA. So rheumatoid arthritis is probably one of the most common. Other common symptoms or syndromes as a result of the lymph system being backlogged would be like fibromyalgia, Lyme disease, lupus. Okay, so this is where the pain migrates around the body, especially attacking the synovial fluids or the fluids of the body. And when this happens and the fluids become impure, then this is what creates pain. You add a little bit of wind in there too, and then we really have a true B syndrome because now that pain is migrating from joint to joint. Okay, so really paying attention to how this lymphatic system works and how the whole body works together. It's really kind of cool how the whole body works together to keep our immune system strong and to keep these fluids moving and to keep our blood detoxified and healthy. So what are a few Qigong practices we could do? Well, first of all, what are the couple of organs that get backlogged? I said the spleen, the kidneys, and the liver. So we're going to start off here with our spleen movement, and we're going to begin by pulling down the heavens 3 times, inhaling And exhaling, just setting your intention, just allowing for the smiling face of white light to illuminate these internal organs. So your lymphatic system, your bone marrow, thymus gland, appendix, tonsils, your lymph nodes in your body, just allowing for this white light to just illuminate us. A smiley face of white light onto them. Okay, and we're going to start off first with the spleen. There's two ways to do the spleen move. One way is to imagine that the fingers become like long hollow straws, enter deep into the earth. As I inhale, I'm going to make a long inhale. I'm going to find a pivot point in the sky or in the ceiling, and I'm going to rotate around that pivot point, inhaling in the center, exhaling as I turn. Now the negative emotions that attack the spleen are the emotions of worry and anxiety and thinking too much, over-intellectualizing things. Okay, so your spleen is located on the left side of the body. You can imagine a yellow or orange cloud filling up into that left side of the body, cleansing the spleen, helping with the transformation of the fluids, aiding in proper lymphatic drainage, allowing for the positive virtue of peace of mind and centeredness to come in. Now, if your shoulders get tired by doing this, another way of doing it is by holding a ball. Imagine that you're holding a beach ball and you're circulating that beach ball from one side to the next, really focusing on this left quadrant of the body. And imagine that this yellow cloud fills up into that left quadrant, helping to cleanse the spleen, getting rid of the emotions of worry, because backlog emotions will cause a backlog of the lymph system. So helping with our immune system, recycling the dead blood cells. So I really enjoy being able to not only introduce these Qigong practices to you and the benefits, but introducing you to basic anatomy of how the body functions, I think is really important to understand. As I was talking in yesterday's Qi Challenge, yesterday morning at 8 a.m., we had the Qi Challenge live on Zoom, and there's not many practices out there that focuses on all the internal organs. A lot of our internal organs get crowed away. Just kidding. A lot of our internal organs get overlooked. I mean, we may focus on our stomach or our heart, right? But like we're not focusing on our spleen. So by shedding our intention or turning our intention internally, then this helps to bring real life to those internal organs. Okay, so the positive virtue of peace of mind and centeredness comes in, all right? Helping to cleanse that spleen, helping with our lymphatic system. We're going to come back to the middle, pulling down the heavens one time, inhaling and exhaling. Just allow to cleanse the body. Okay, next movement for the liver. So our liver loves to process those toxins, but at a certain point it gets backlogged. And once again, emotions of anger, hatred, resentment, frustration, and anger all affect the liver and the gallbladder, and affects our digestion. Then, believe it or not, things like colitis and Crohn's disease is as a result of this liver being backlogged as well too. So that lymphatic system being affected by those emotions, and once again, poor diet, a sedentary lifestyle. And right now, it seems to be going on a lot lately where there's a sedentary lifestyle. So we have to get up and move. Go for a walk, go for a jog, do some yoga, practice some Tai Chi, and then incorporate these Qigong movements into your daily routine. Okay, so I'm going to focus on a circumstance that creates anger for me, and I'm going to let that go. And if you have a laundry list of people that you're angry or resentful at, I suggest writing that out. Who are those people? Or what are those circumstances? And feel it. And then as you do this liver move, allow for that anger to leave like a dark cloud going several feet away from the body and deep into the ground, allowing for the positive virtue of kindness, acceptance to come in. Okay, so clearing out that liver. We don't want that liver to get backlogged. In fact, some of those diseases like I was talking about, like Lyme and And lupus, for example, is definitely when that liver is not, when the emotions of anger are not being expressed properly, which then further creates this backlog in the lymph system. Okay, so I'm going to pull in, pressing down, pulling down the heavens one time, and just imagine the bloodstream being cleansed with this white light. I want to have healthy, clean blood. Okay, so another big organ that plays a role in disease when the lymph system gets backed up is our kidneys. Our kidneys are responsible for secretion and excretion of the body. So I'm going to exhale, I'm going to inhale, I'm going to imagine a blue cloud filling up into the kidneys. Then as I exhale, I'm going to imagine any toxicity from the kidneys leaving, like a dark cloud going several feet away from the body and deep into the ground. So if you're frozen in fear, afraid to go outside, afraid to make a change, to take a stand, then that backlogs the water system of the kidneys, the water network of the kidneys. Inhaling and exhaling allow for the fear to leave. The positive virtue of willpower comes in. Inhale and exhale. Just allow for the fear to leave, the willpower, the gentleness to come in. I'm going to come up to the top and I'm going to switch. Now I'm going to press or go the opposite direction, now working with the opposite kidney. They say that the left kidney is actually responsible for the yin, which is our fluids, the basis for all the fluids of the body, the blood, sweat, lymph fluid, synovial fluid. The basis of this all comes from kidney yin, which is in the left kidney. Your right kidney is responsible for the heat, so it's referred to as kidney yang, allowing for the heat or the motive force to move fluids, to move blood, create warmth to the extremities. You need warmth for your heart to beat, for any assimilation processes inside the body. So allow for that willpower to come in. Why, hello there, little bird. And then I'm going to come back to the top. I'm going to finish by pulling down the heavens one time, inhaling and exhaling. Just allow for our blood to become detoxified and clear, harmonize through the bone marrow. Okay, last practice that we're going to go ahead and do is called brushing the meridians. Now there's a couple ways of doing it, but I'm going to do just the patting version because I think it's really important to be able to stimulate the lymph system by actually patting. So I'm going to pat down, I'm going to pat up. Now we have these lymph nodes all over the body, but these acupuncture meridians, when we pat them as well too, guess what? There's different points along the channels actually connect to different areas of the body. So just by tapping, we could actually help to stimulate that system. Hopefully I'm not tweaking my microphone. Okay, then I'm gonna come down, I'm gonna do the other side. I have to do both sides. We have lymph nodes on both sides of the body. Besides that, if I only focused on one side of the body, guess what? I'd walk in circles all day and I'd never leave the house. So I want to be able to go see my clients, teach some classes. So I want to make sure to do both sides of the body. Now this one's going to be on another one for Lori. Our friend Lori in Tennessee is helping us with another book. So this will be on the table of contents there. I love her accent. She is yow. Okay, from here, I'm going to go ahead and pat my legs. I'm going to come up. Coming up, patting down the outside channels, patting up the inside, okay? Really waking up those acupuncture meridians, those vessels, helping with the lymph fluid to circulate the lymph fluid throughout the body. Let's do one more. Happy clouds, happy thighs, happy glutes. Okay, let's finish up here by pulling down the heavens 3 times. Inhale and exhaling. Inhale. Just allow for that white light to come in. And exhale. Setting your intentions, helping to incorporate your whole body network to work together to keep our immune system strong, to help keep chronic pain away from the body. Okay, so some very simple Qigong practices. Now, one of the other key things that you need to do is to drink plenty of room temperature water. I can't emphasize this enough. Plenty of room temperature water also helps with this lymphatic system as well. And making sure to eat your fresh green leafy vegetables, especially the dark kale, those types of things, seaweed, add kelp granules to your diet as well too. It helps with the thyroid. Making sure to have fruits that are in season, like right now cherries are in season. Watermelon are coming into season, you know, so making sure to, because we're going into the summer months when this video is shot. So really making sure to eat the fruits and vegetables that are in season, making sure to exercise, making sure to move, making sure to process those negative emotions as they come in. Don't just shove them down and say, oh, you know what, I'll get to that later, I don't have time for it. It's really imperative to utilize these Qigong practices in order for your whole body system to smile at you and say, you know what, thank you so much for acknowledging me. I'm so happy, and as a result, I'm going to give you health and vitality. So I'm Chris Shelton, signing off from a beautiful day in San Jose, California, the heart of Silicon Valley. Please click on the link below and subscribe to this YouTube channel, and click on the link below to get a free book. Share this information, and until next time, I will chi you later.